guys, it's me, and I'm sort of back as promised without too much of a time gap. I wanted to do a video today about something that I've gotten asked about a lot, and that is when you find out a friend has self-injured. And that is a really tough situation for anyone, but especially if you don't have any experience with self-injury or depression or anything remotely like that, it can be really scary. But if a friend has told you that they are self-injuring or have self-injured, they have told you because they really trust you. And they feel like, you know, that you could either help them or that you could be there for them by just having an open ear and by listening to them. So I'm going to tell you how to deal with that or try to help you in dealing with a friend who has a self-destructive behavior or anything along the lines with depression or suicidal thoughts or self-injury. I have had experience with this. A couple of my close friends have come to me in trust, and they have told me that they self-injure, and even a few of them, like one of my old friends that I had a couple of years ago, was faced with drugs, and so this kind of goes for any self-destructive behavior. So basically you always should react in a good way. I mean, okay, what I'm saying, it's kind of, hold on, let me start over with that thought. What I'm saying is basically you shouldn't react in alarm or surprise or threaten to tell anyone, because that is the last thing a self-injurer wants. Because it takes, let me tell you, to tell somebody that you self-injure takes an incredible amount of courage and an incredible, it's basically like telling your biggest secret and drawing to a bunch of conclusions, and it's basically someone revealing their biggest fear to you. And first of all, I think that you should be pretty honored that they trusted you enough to tell you. So first of all, what I do if someone tells me something like that is I thank them. I say, well, thank you very much for trusting me, you know, with that situation. And then you should try to be empathetic. You know, if somebody comes to you and says that, oh, sorry, my computer. If somebody comes to you and tells you that they have self-injured, don't go throwing out, you know, accusations, and don't jump to conclusions, because chances are they thought long and hard about telling you this. It wasn't just spontaneous. So you can really help them by being empathetic and by just trying to understand what they're going through. So that's the main part, is just to be completely open and make sure that they know that you're available anytime. You know, make sure to tell them that you're open to talking about it and to them about it anytime, and that they could always come to you if they feel like self-injuring, or if you know, they're confused, or if they just want somebody to talk to. Because let me tell you, that is the biggest weight off of a self-injurer's shoulders, is to just have somebody that you can come to, or that even has shared that kind of a feeling, you know, or just to know that someone is there for you and that somebody cares, is the biggest feeling of relief that you could ever experience. So just make sure that they know that you're always there for them, and that you will always be available to talk to them you know. And the third thing is that, you know, of course you're going to want to help them, but to be brutally honest, there isn't a lot you can do besides being there, you know, and if they tell you not to tell anybody, especially, but if it does get to the point where it is bad enough, where it is crucial, where it is like life-threatening to them, extremely life-threatening to the point where you're afraid to go to sleep, in worrying that, you know, you might not see them the next day, then please tell somebody, because it's hard, because in trust, they tell you that in trust, but if it gets to the point where it's bad enough, and if they're saying every day that they're going to commit suicide, or if they're saying every day that they had cut themselves that night, or anything along the lines of something that's really consistent and something that might get more dangerous a long time, then you really do need to tell somebody, you know, no matter what, because it's their life. You could be saving their life. And somebody might be their parents if you're under the age of, you know, 18, or especially like high school, middle school age, is basically what I'm aiming for when I say that you can tell their parents, that you should tell their parents. You should tell a teacher, a counselor, and if those resources aren't available to you, such as if you're like over the age of 18, you're living on your own, and your friend has told you this, and you're worried for their life, then you do need to call 911 or take them to a hospital, only if it gets that bad. I hope you know what I mean by the limits that I'm setting, you know, if it gets bad enough. And, you know, use your own judgment. It can vary, and you'll know if it gets bad enough for one of your friends or for anybody who has told you that they're self-injuring. You know, for me, I can just sense when it's borderline and when you're on the edge. And you'll be able to do that too, especially if you know the person really well. But I can't stress anything enough more than be there for them 100% and make sure that you know that that you are there for them, and that you won't tell anybody, like I said, unless it gets bad enough. And unfortunately, there are situations where it does get bad enough, and it does worry you to the point where you need to get help somewhere outside of yourself, and you need to tell somebody. But other than that, you can help them so much by just being there for them and letting them know, especially letting them know that you care about them and that you will do anything to help them, because that's the one thing that a self-injurer is so unsure of, is that basically in a self-injurer's mind is that like nobody cares about them enough, and to the point where they need to hurt themselves. So be sure to stress that you really care about them enough to help them, of course, and just always be there for them. And heck, if you don't know where else to turn, of course, ask me or give them my YouTube channel, because I'm open to anything. And even though I'm not on as often as I used to be, I'd really like to help anyone. So yeah, I really hope this helps you. Yeah, if you have any more questions, just message me. And I hope that this helped you, and I hope you guys have a nice week. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.